Yeah, so we're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to go over a lot of information. If anything ever seems overwhelming or underwhelming and you want to know more about it, just ask the question. We're super informal.
We're real casual, guys.
We like a lot of interaction. There is like a specific time we're going to set apart for Q&A, but seriously, if you have a question, just hop in and ask. Sometimes you wait 20 minutes, it's gone. We're going to go over some basic stuff about nutrition, the science behind what is a macronutrient, what makes up your calories, energy balance, and then we're going to get into some more specific things, some myths, meal timing, performance, more of the nitty-gritty stuff. So we're going to cover the whole spectrum of it.
Yeah, this PowerPoint has like a lot of stuff in it that we usually use for the police academies, so we might skip over a couple of things. But again, if you have questions, ask us. You don't even have to wait to the end. I want to make sure that you guys get all the information that you can out of this. I see so many familiar faces in the audience, which makes me really happy because I've known you guys for a very long time, and I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you for introducing us, guys. So, we own Revolutionize Nutrition, and we're gonna dig right into it. Let's go. So, what is nutrition? So, you guys are here. Well, does everybody go here? I'm assuming? Yeah, okay. I see like some people are no, yes, no. But when you're here, fitness is obviously a very important component of health, but how do we fuel ourselves to train as efficiently as possible, to recover as efficiently as possible? Recovery even includes sleep, right? So a lot of this is coming from nutrition and how we fuel our bodies. So let's bring it to the next step. So when we talk about nutrition, you guys hear calories are always spoken about. Calories is just a way for us to measure energy. Let's just keep it as simple as that. I'm going to try to simplify everything for you guys today. But our calories are all made up of different things. Our macronutrients. So if you hear the term macros thrown around, it's just short for macronutrients. Those are your proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. It's what you would read on the back of any nutrition label. They all have a purpose. What happens in our industry, which it becomes very conflicting and very confusing for many people, is when these fad diets are rolling around, they're wanting you to eliminate or to cut things out of your diet. And is that sustainable? If anybody here has hopped on a diet like that, where they completely eliminated something that they love, or they eliminated carbohydrates, whatever it may be, things that your body needs in the proper quantities, it backfires. You say this isn't sustainable. You might have a potato chip and then you say F it, and then you eat the whole bag of potato chips, right? So now you're creating an unhealthy relationship with food as well, and we want to stop that.
And that's just one of the psychological down points of cutting out a macronutrient. There's obviously a lot more physical down points too. You're cutting out your fats completely, your hormones can get out of whack. Cutting out your carbs, your energy is going to be severely affected. For some reason, who knows, you're cutting your protein very low. Obviously you're going to lose lean mass, not going to recover properly. So all three of those macronutrients, they really do have a purpose. So anytime a certain fad diet is saying, this is the greatest macro, this is the worst macro, or vice versa, grain of salt it, because usually there is a grain of truth. They'll be like, oh, okay, that's all right. But they elaborate that into some big scheme you have to pay for.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of conflicting stuff in the industry, so we're going to be busting some myths for you guys tonight as well. Now, when we talk about micros, micronutrients, as opposed to macros, so micro meaning small, macro meaning something that the body needs in large quantities, small quantities. These are your vitamins and your minerals. So when people are talking about healthy foods, usually they're referring to foods that are high in vitamins, minerals, and fiber, things like that. So, okay. So, the calorie-macro relationship, again, we just talked about your macronutrients, your fats, proteins, carbohydrates, alcohol, other topic. I'm going to save that for a little bit later. These all have a purpose. Your fats are 9 calories per gram. They're more dense. So what are examples of fats? Let me just hear it from you. Anything that you could think of, any food items that are fats. Can we eat you? You want to stick it in the back. So what are examples of fats? Oils, perfect. Avocado, yes. What else? Cream, yeah. What else? What is it? Nuts and seeds. Thank you so much for saying that one, because so many people say that's a source of protein. You get ancillary protein in there, but it's primarily a fat source. Good. So your oils, heavy cream, butter, avocado, you have fats and carbs. Nuts, seeds, peanut butter, fats. When you're eating whole eggs, the yolk is gonna be a primary source of fat. When you're eating salmon or red meat, they are protein sources, but you're also gonna be getting a higher content of fat in there as well. So they are important in the proper quantities. You're gonna keep hearing me say that tonight. They support and transport fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A, D, E, and K. They are very important for vital organ functioning, hormone synthesis, brain functioning. So like Randy was saying before, many people who are struggling with hormone imbalances, sometimes their fats need to be adjusted to support that. Men struggling with low testosterone, women going through menopause, we see this quite often. Yeah, we have, and we work with a lot of that. A lot.
Such joy.
Yeah, I know, I hear it's a fantastic journey. Yeah, I know. But that's where we come in and we say, okay, the things that used to work might not work anymore, but there is still a way. How do we go about that? So we do that very often.
Can I interrupt with a question?
Yes, get it.
So when you said about the eggs, so out of curiosity, so in general, would you say eggs are good, but eating a whole egg with the yolk, like
It's all good. Now where it comes in is, so your egg whites are gonna be your protein source. Your whole egg is gonna be a protein and fat source, also high in minerals, right, and vitamins. So in a day's worth, we say, okay, you have to have 60 grams of fat in a day. I'm just like pulling a number out of my butt right now. If those whole eggs fit in, yes, have them, have the whole eggs. And if you're like, okay, my fats, I wanna get my fats from other sources. It's like Tetris with food. I wanna get my fats from other sources. Then you go egg whites. So it's whatever you want. There's no wrong answer there, which is great question. Actually, you get a bag for that. You get a gym bag, you get a swag bag. Good question. And we're gonna tap back into
I eat
that.
a lot of eggs, and that's what I'm
I
curious
eat
about.
eggs like 3 times a day, so I'm obsessed with it.
But I eat whole,
Mhm.
and that's why I'm not sure if that's maybe
It
the
all-
right thing to do, is maybe I should
It all
adjust
comes
that.
into what is your goal fat intake and are you reaching that? So we're gonna actually pull back into that
Okay.
question a little bit. I love that. So next,
What do you want, carbs? So I have to go back for carbs or protein.
oh, let's go to carbs. So your carbohydrates, oh my God, please do not eliminate these from your diet. And you always hear this happening in fad diets to cut your carbohydrates. I'm gonna dig into this real hard right now. They are 4 calories per gram. Carbohydrates are your main source of energy. When you are working out, when you're just at work doing day-to-day functioning, whatever it is, this is your primary fuel source. Again, you just have to have the right amount of carbs for your goals and for your body. There are different types of carbohydrates. You have your simple carbs, you have your complex carbs. Each do have a purpose. Simple carbs, they're delicious. All right, so those are gonna be your fast absorbing carbohydrates, carbohydrates that are higher in sugar or fast absorption into the bloodstream. The problem with simple carbohydrates is that they're not gonna sustain you long term, which is where you're gonna want more high fibrous carbohydrates that are slow digesting, keeping you satiated longer. But simple carbohydrates, again, do serve a purpose, especially for athleticism, running, right? Lifting, sports. You want quick digesting carbohydrates for a quick source of fuel. So I don't want to sit here and say they're terrible for you, but
And
you know.
over the years too, most people assume, I gotta lose some body fat, carbs must be the problem. I gotta be honest, most of the time from what I've seen people, carbs aren't a big deal for people. It's usually the fats are really out of control and the protein's really low. It's very rare I've seen someone who is like, they're just putting down 400 carbs and it's out of control.
The problem is people refer to carbohydrate sources that are also very high in fat, calorie dense fats. So like potato chips, they say are carbs. Yeah, there's a lot of carbs in it, but there's also a lot of fat in it. So that's where people run into issues when they're taking their vegetables and they're sauteing it in like a 1/4 cup of olive oil, or they're using heavy marinades and sauces. Pasta's a fine carbohydrate, but if you're smothering it in Alfredo sauce, it becomes very, very dense in fats, heavy creams, right? In addition, so tell me sources of carbohydrates. Like, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think carbohydrates?
potato.
Potato. Did you say Swedish fish? He's correct. What else? What else?
White rice.
White rice. What else?
Cereal.
Cereal. Yes. What else?
Fruit.
Fruit. Thank you. You get a bag. What else? What else comes to mind? What was it? I heard something back there, but it was like kind of muffled. So people forget it. Most people think of starches. potato, rice, pasta, Swedish fish, right? Yes, things like that, cereal, but they forget about fruits and vegetables. Thank you. Matt, they forget of that. Now, potato is a vegetable, but they forget about even like the leafy greens and peppers and things like that. They are still a source of carbohydrate. Again, they're a great source of carbohydrate, high in fiber and vitamins and minerals. They're also very voluminous. So say you have a small little portion of rice, that's 30 grams of carb, right? And you have next to it this much, I'm just gonna choose broccoli. Broccoli, also 30 grams of carbohydrate. Volume. So volume eating is a big thing for people. I like volume when I eat. So this much broccoli to me is much more satisfying than this much rice. Neither is better or worse, it's just what do you prefer? We work with some people who like to eat dense foods. They don't like high volume foods, so they're gonna go for things that are gonna be very dense in carbohydrates.
Where does oatmeal feel?
Oatmeal, carbohydrate, perfect, yes.
Right.
Like primarily, yes, you're gonna get ancillary protein in it and whatnot, but the carbohydrate, it's a great source. Great source.
That's a good slow acting one, good to have like before work, before you have a long day. Unless it's like one of the really sugary oatmeals,
Yeah.
but like actual oatmeal, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, it's the steel cut oats. So, proteins, your building blocks of life, right? So when you are here working out, when you're at home just doing your day-to-day activities, you're breaking and ripping apart your muscle fibers, especially when you're here. When you're getting that pump, you're tearing shit up. The protein is what's gonna come in to help you rebuild and restore everything that you're breaking down. It is very important, but again, to have in the right amounts for your body. They are gonna combat muscle loss and encourage even muscle growth or maintenance, depending on what your goal is, your methodology of training, and the rest of your nutrition plan. So some people think like, if I eat protein, I'm gonna turn into like this massive bodybuilder. There's a lot more to it.
It's not that easy, unfortunately.
It's not that easy. I ran into a guy, so I used to work at Central State back in the day, and I ran into a guy earlier today. He goes, I know you from Central State, you used to be a trainer, I knew you 10 years ago. He goes, you look exactly the same, just with a lot more muscle. And I was like, thanks. Really working hard for 10 years for this, appreciate it. But
a lot of protein.
A lot of protein, that's all I get, just nothing but protein, nothing else. I just sat in a chair. So your proteins are gonna be your chicken breast, turkey breast, lean fish, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, tofu, protein powder. There's meat alternatives and stuff like that. We do work with vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian as well. Beans and edamame. And examples of that would be like, well, those would be examples of something that's high in protein, but also carbohydrate and fiber as a carbohydrate. So you're getting kind of a big bang for your buck. If you're vegan or vegetarian, these are great options to include into your diet.
Yeah, like I said, this is the macro that I find most people really struggle to get in if you're not focused on it. You know, because most people aren't going to sit around and like go, oh, what kind of eat? Just pull out an 8-ounce chicken breast and start gnawing on it. You're going to grab a carb, you're going to grab a fat, you're going to grab something good. Protein, you usually have to cook it. You're not going to have it by accident. So if you are just wondering where you stand, this is something that I say, just track your protein for a day, see what you're getting in. It could be pretty eye-opening. A lot of people are getting, like I said, under 50 grams a day. And again, you don't need, like, if you're crazy with 2 grams per pound of body weight, you don't need, like, what people think bodybuilders should be having, that they shouldn't be having. But you do need a decent amount. I usually like this, what do you have written up there, like 1.7, 1.2 per pound of body weight. I like to go off lean mass, but it ends up coming back to the same thing. So if you're like a 140-pound woman, you know, at least 80 to 100 grams of protein. And usually a little more, and we can get more into detail with that.
And it depends on your goals too.
Yeah. But it's also going to satiate you a lot too. The protein takes a little longer to digest, so if you're finding you're getting hungry a lot, adding a little more protein into your diet can help too.
So like we talk about the macronutrient ratio. I can work with somebody who's been eating, I'm just gonna choose 2,000 calories a day, right? But their 2,000 calories a day have been very low protein, high fat, moderate carb. All we do is switch the macronutrient ratios, same calories, and all of a sudden they're like, I'm really full, like I'm really satiated, I'm leaning out, I feel stronger. All these positive benefits come from this new macronutrient distribution, but the same amount of energy going into their body. So again, what I was saying before, your calories aren't all the same. It depends on your macronutrient ratio.
Now I just want to, right now I have to,
Go.
I can't help myself.
Yep.
So, we're gonna tell us all weight loss is just calories in, calories out.
Yeah.
So even though Michele said not all calories are created equal, they're not in terms of the good things they can do extra for you, but in terms of just how our body gains and loses weight,
Energy
it's
distribution.
energy in, energy out. That's
Yeah.
it.
It's
There
good.
was a lot more to it in
It's-
terms of lifestyle, satiety, performance, muscle balance, muscle composition. But at its simplest, it is that.
Yep. All right, so this is actually why we were calling to work with the police academies. So we work with the police academies and a lot of the departments in the area because they're not drinking water and people were getting rhabdo and passing out during training. So
Even though they're told 6 months in advance, here's what you need to do.
I can't. They're like, so all of our recruits are passing out. We need you. I was like, all right, just teach these guys how to drink water. So water is just such a basic thing, but so many people do struggle with it, and it makes up a very large component of your body. How your body functions, operates, your muscular contractions, everything is water and hydration. Also carries waste to the kidneys and helps you digest food. Also helps you feel fuller as well. So when you have a meal, drink some water with it, you're gonna notice you'll feel
That
a
will
little
definitely
fuller.
help performance as well.
Yeah, big on performance, please. So what Randy was talking about before, so your calories in, calories out. Don't be shy, but show of hands, anybody in here who, and some of this might overlap, who in here is interested in fat loss? Raise your hand. Okay, good. How many people in here are interested in gaining muscle? Okay, and this is gonna overlap some of it because we talk about composition shifts. And and performance. How many people are more interested in performance? Okay, beautiful. So again, a lot of these overlap and will go in hand in hand. So we go next one. Okay, fat loss versus weight loss. So most people that come into our office, if they're looking to lose weight, they say, I wanna lose 10 pounds. And I go, okay, what does that mean? I can manipulate your weight overnight and get you to lose 8 pounds, 10 pounds overnight, but it's fake, it's not real, it's water manipulation. We were talking about how high of a percentage water makes up the body. I can just dehydrate you, but it's not gonna affect your fat loss. So when you're talking about weight loss, as long as you're not trying to make weight for like a competition or something, you need to think fat loss. They're two very, very different things, and your scale fluctuations through the day is all gonna be affected by primarily water and food, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So here's a visual. You have two people, 130 pounds, one is 20% body fat, the other is 35% body fat. Both the same height, both the same weight, two different body shapes.
Yeah, and this is a lot of times, we meet people, I'm like, what's your goal? They go, I want to weigh 130 pounds. I go, that's wonderful. What does that mean to you? So I like to say, the numbers are wonderful, but in terms of aesthetics, if I'm sitting on the beach and I see someone walk by, I don't go, man, I bet they're 15% body fat. I go, they look great. So you focus on the things that, she might.
Except Matt's like 18.5% body fat.
So I like to shoot for more tangible things. I want to tighten my arms up. I want to see my abs. I want my glutes to things that we can, feel and touch and get focused on. Because you may get everything you want, but your goal weight might be 5 pounds higher. It might be 5 pounds less. Who knows? Usually I find women's are a little higher and men's are less. We like to think we're only 5 pounds away from our goal all the time. But so sometimes it can help to reassess your goal setting. Again, kind of off topic, because poor goal setting is like one of the biggest self-sabotages I see. A lot of times we may set these goals that are either too high, unrealistic, or maybe just not even the right goal for what you want, and you just didn't verbalize it correctly. So if you're ever in a spot where you feel stuck, or just like want to take a self-audit on your program where you're at, just do a little regular goal setting assessment. Where do I want to be? What have I been doing to get there? What do I need to do next? And you might not be able to do all those on your own. You might need to bring in your coach or someone else, but it could be a really powerful tool that even if you are on a good path, you probably reassess every 3 to 6 months anyway.
Absolutely. So you guys hear the thing like, oh, muscle weighs more than fat. Like, how many people have heard muscle weighs more than fat? Pretty much everybody in here has heard that, right? Okay, so 5 pounds, and that's 5 pounds. They're both 5 pounds, right? But the muscle is more dense. It's gonna take up less space than the body fat. So it doesn't technically weigh more than fat, it's just more dense. Next. Okay, this is the #1 reason why people stop. and they say, I'm done, I'm throwing in the towel, I give up, is because of these freaking scale fluctuations. Again, weight fluctuations, not fat fluctuations. How everybody perceives weight loss, it's just gonna be this nice, easy, streamlined
But
way.
is anything.
It is anything but that. It is a wild, wild roller coaster. So you're gonna drop, and then you're gonna be up, and then you're gonna drop and be up, and you might plateau for a little bit and then drop and up. All these spikes is what messes with everybody's head. I guarantee you many people in here have experienced that, and they're like, you know, I'm tired. I feel like I'm burning my wheels and I'm getting nowhere. No, you probably are getting somewhere, but you're letting these fluctuations mess with you.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to give us a little shout out. So we like to use
That's where we come in.
we like to use this product called the Fit3D Scanner. It's a pretty neat device. You hop on it, spins you in a circle, creates a 3D avatar of your body from all angles. So you can really see how you're progressing every 2 weeks. You know, so your weight may plateau. You may be holding a lot of water this week, even though you lost, let's say, a pound of fat, and that can be really disheartening. When you look at the picture, you look at the measurements, you're like, wow, I look a lot better. My waist is down an inch. You go, okay, I'm going to keep moving forward. So it's always important to use different metrics, whether it's a scanner, whether it's progress pictures and a regular old tape measure. But the scale is just one metric. So to put all your eggs in that basket is not the best idea unless you're very aware of what's going on, and you may have these fluctuations.
Exactly. You need to know what causes weight fluctuations. So we were talking about water, but also food. Food sitting in your digestive tract. Did you just eat something and it hasn't digested yet? Did you drink a cup of water and it's still passing through? Are you weighing yourself first thing in the morning or at 8 o'clock at night? Two very different numbers.
Medications or supplements.
Medications, intramuscular swelling. Did you work out harder than usual and you're just a little bit more swollen than usual? Stress hormone response. Yeah, these are all things that are going to cause these fluctuations, which is why you have to be very aware if you're somebody who weighs yourself frequently.
Yeah. Usually I like to say if you are a daily weigher, use weekly averages. It'll just keep you saner and it kind of more meaningful.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean ignore the fluctuations, because you can also say, oh, every week when I go out to dinner with my brother, wow, I'm 3 pounds heavy the next day. Why is that? Is it just I gained fat, or was it a bunch of tequila shots?
Yeah.
Which we're going to get into.
Probably a bunch of tequila shots. But it's not depicting your body fat, all right? So again, you just need to stay sane through those spikes. Hitting calories is a very common
Yeah, you slightly touched on it earlier.
Common reason why people plateau. We also talk about the BLTs, not the food. BLTs standing for bites, licks, tastes, and sips. So when people say, I'm following my nutrition plan, but I am plateaued, we really have to have like a real honest talk with ourselves and say, am I following the plan, or is there stuff that I'm eating and consuming through the day that I'm not tracking? And it has a lot to do with this. Condiments, free pouring of oil. Oil is very dense. Nothing wrong with oil. It's just something you have to be aware of and track if you're tracking your calories. Drinks, any sugary coffees with creamer, things like that. And like I said, the BLTs, like Randy gets a sandwich, I take a bite of the sandwich, then I had 3 more bites of a sandwich.
And those things never make it to the tracker.
And I picked a little bit of this, I picked a little bit of this. I am a picker, and one day I did track what I picked outside of my meals, and I consumed like an extra 500 calories, which took me out of my caloric deficit. And I'm sitting here wondering, why am I not reaching my goals?
I like to tell you, you don't want to be obsessive. Any one of those things, even every day, totally fine.
Yeah.
It's when you're doing all of them every day.
Every day,
So
yes.
it's one of those things that if you're not having any issues with your program and your results, totally cool. But if you notice you're plateauing, this is a good spot to look at.
Yeah, one of my clients, he goes, my weight's been stagnant for 3 weeks, but like I'm following everything perfectly. And I'm like, are you? I was like, let me take a look at your tracker. And I'm looking through his tracker, and I'm like, is there anything that's not, like, I saw this, he was tracking the same exact thing every day. It was copy and paste.
How we know it's bad.
I go, everything's like literally the same every day. I'm like, is there anything else you ate? Like besides this, like, oh, well, after my workout, I had an extra peanut butter with 2 tablespoons, an extra banana with 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. And then that day, I went out and had 5 tequilas with my friend. Oh, and that day I had a few sliced pizza. I'm like, bro, it's...
Why do I know who his client is right now?
You already know who it is. It's like, well, I went to WWE the other day, I got hammered. And I'm like, all right, well, then you haven't tracked your calories at all. And he's like, yeah, I guess not. And like, we laughed about it. Like, all you could do is laugh
And
about
he's
it.
a more fine-tuning client.
He's a very fine-tuning client, but like, you have to laugh and just be self-aware and just have that honest reality check with yourself, and then all of a sudden everything just kind of falls into place, right? So these are just an example of those like bites, licks, and tastes throughout the day.
Yeah, so we got myths coming up, and you want to just see if anyone has questions. I think
Yeah, questions on anything that we've discussed thus far? Yeah, go for it.
How do you guys specifically calculate caloric needs?
Great question. So we start with like your resting metabolic rate, basal metabolic rate. So like, what are the calories that you're burning at rest, doing literally nothing? All right. Then we need to see what are your energy requirements. Are you working out? Do you have like a labor-intensive job? Are you in construction? Are you trying to gain muscle mass? Are you trying to drop body fat? These are all things that we take into all of our calculations to fine-tune your macros, what you specifically need. But we say like it's a little bit of science and a little bit of art. We need to hear, how are you feeling? Is your performance good? Are you feeling sluggish? Are you hungrier at the end of the day? And then we start to tweak things based on how your body responds. Did you drop too much weight on the first week and we need to give you more food? All these things like we take into account week by week, so we can keep adjusting based on exactly what you need, not only physically, but psychologically. Psychology is a huge component of this too. Food and eating and psychology, it's like all the same thing.
How do you do the BMR?
The BMR?
Yeah, or the
Either the scanner, or we just use the old BMR calculator.
Yeah, there's calculations on it. Like if you go on Google and look like BMR calculator, you can plug your stuff up and find out what your resting
And we all use
metabolic rate
different
is.
ways. Like the nutritionists usually build their they build their macros calories down. I like to build them macros up, where I just will calculate, what do I think the carb requirement is times 1.8 to 2.2, build it out that way, and then just double check my math in the back end. Their way is better. I just like my way.
Yeah, you get to the same answer. It's just like, this is just how I do it, and you get stuck in that, but that's fine. Again, you get to the same answer, so it's fine. Go for it.
Going off this question,
Yeah.
how often are you reassessing BMR?
Mhm.
Stuff like gaining weight, right? As I'm trying to put on muscle, as my training volume is increasing, and
Yeah.
my weight is gaining, my BMR is also
Correct.
considerably going to go up as well. So how often are you retesting that?
So when we do your scans, so we perform your Fit3D scans every other week. When we're seeing significant changes and your body isn't doing what it should be doing, we're gonna take a step back and say, okay, it's time to readjust and take a look at this. We also see it with people who lose a lot of weight, like a person who lost 50, 100 pounds, their BMR completely changes. So we need to reevaluate that.
And that's actually a question. It's sort of like, we don't have any, there's never any predetermined, this is phase 2, phase 3, make a change here. It's all dependent on you and your body's reactions. Like, my perfect plan for you is these numbers I gave you on day 1, they got you right to your goal magically. Wonderful, no changes needed.
That'd be great.
But that's usually not real life. So it's
Yeah.
usually just based on how is your body still responding, not responding, and then slight tweaks in whatever direction we think is necessary based on, like Michele said, your feedback, how you look, how you feel.
Yeah.
Take it from there.
It's the art.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
With the science.
it's the
Yeah.
art with the
Yeah.
science, and then we have people who also take different supplementation, hormone replacement therapy,
Right. If
medications, and it changes with that as well.
Right. If I'm working with some 20-year-old bodybuilder who's taken enough to kill a horse, and some 40-year-old sedentary person, they're gonna have very different calorie requirements, even if, let's say, all their numbers are the same.
Just so you know, we're not telling them to take all those
No.
supplements to kill a horse. They're just coming out and they're like, this is what I do, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna give you your
That's a
nutrition.
rant I can go on for a bodybuilding.
Yeah, that's all. Bodybuilding. If you ever want to be on a bodybuilding seminar, we're gonna save it for another time because it's a wild, wild world. Yeah. Did you have a question?
No, I was just gonna say yes, because the HRT, I was
Yes.
wondering how that affects things.
It does.
Yes.
Both men and women. Yeah, it definitely does. So we need to take that into
A
account.
large percentage of our clients, the non-bodybuilder crowd, just on the HRT and TRT, and taking the doses they're supposed to take.
Yeah.
Yeah, it usually gets you back to what I thought your numbers should have been in the first place. So like I've had a few clients after last year where I'm hitting them pretty hard and pretty aggressively, and we're seeing progress, but not what we should see. And that's usually when I'll refer out to, I'll say, hey, what's the last time you had your blood work done?
Yeah.
I usually go to your primary first and then have them tell you. Because if you go to a lot of times the clinic is looking to tell you have a problem.
Yeah.
Not that they're all bad, I'm cynical about some things.
Some people are a little shady. So.
But
They
yes.
are measuring the blood work, which is good.
Yes.
They're measuring my blood
Yeah,
work
and that's
good.
every 4 months.
Good, yeah.
Absolutely,
And I
that's
always
good.
tell people, your nutritionist probably shouldn't be doing your blood work. Your
Yeah,
doctor
yeah.
should. So if you do have someone who's a nutritionist saying, I want to do your blood work and this, I go,
I'd rather you talk to your,
Talk
like,
to-
a hormone replacement therapist.
Yeah,
like,
let
talk to
the
them.
experts, just like, TJ was talking about having a healthcare team, have a healthcare team.
Exactly, yeah, the team is where it's at. I have a healthcare
Everybody,
team.
everybody
it's good.
stays in their lane and
That's what, you want the expert in your field to take care of that, 100%. Good.
I was just gonna ask with the hormone replacement,
Mhm.
as far as like the macros, are you ramping up like fats to support that?
Depends,
You-
yes.
Or would you be pulling back on it?
It depends. Usually, like let's say if I was working with a woman, let's say she's 50 years old and I was trying to address just her macros, I probably would have raised her fats initially up, let's say,
Just to see if it changes
Just
it
to see if it changes.
before
Yeah,
they go in the
exactly. So if her happy number should be 50, but I pulled her up to 70 just to see if I can get something going, I'd probably pull slowly back to that 50 while the HRT is going.
Yeah, and most of the time, like when we do that switch, it works really well, but again, if we're pulling in the HRT, it's just a whole other level, and we can bring everything back down to like what our normal calculations would be for that person. You know, the hormones are a big
replacement is
deal,
precursor,
big deal.
Or it's the actual hormone itself?
Depends what they're giving. I mean, I try to, I don't, like, I have some women who are giving straight testosterone, some
Yeah.
are giving them,
Estrogen.
Yeah.
estrogen,
Mhm.
all different, the guys are easier, they just get a shot.
But it's straight estrogen, or is it like
Yeah.
a precursor to estrogen?
It's
that's
estrogen
converted?
and testosterone,
Yeah.
so it's a combination, and they take progesterone.
Progesterone, yeah.
Progesterone.
Yep. And they're just regulating everything to get you back to like normal levels, or
So it's not like the
normal.
body needs to make it, so you need to support it with fat.
Mm.
It's already made,
gone.
right?
It's go it's just gone.
Disappeared.
Well, what I'm saying is, like,
Virtually
you're
non-existent.
injecting that.
Yeah, yeah. How are you, out of curiosity, do you feel better?
I feel a lot better.
And I love
feel a
hearing
lot
that.
better.
I love hearing that. I'm so glad that people are like actually going into that field, because it's not just body, but confidence, the psychology, their moods, all
Well,
of that matters.
again, not to,
Yeah.
Lena said this, what I didn't know is I didn't know it existed. I wish more doctors talked about it, because I thought as you go through that stage, from lack of sleep to not being able to focus the same
Yeah.
way that I did, and just thought that the original answer always was, well, that's just what
This
happens.
is it.
It's just,
Yeah.
and I didn't think that was acceptable until somebody here who goes to Leah mentioned it, and I started to look into
Yep.
it too. And immediately within the first month to 2 months, I sleep now at least a solid 6 hours, which,
Yep.
when I was younger, 8 hours was great. I was waking up every 2 to 3 hours and you're just laying there. So I think just from a quality of life perspective,
Yes.
it has made a huge difference.
100%.
It's something I-
Energy level, all that.
That's what I'm saying. It's
mental
not
health.
just
Like, I
aesthetics.
try not to talk too like loving about it, because it's like, oh, here's Randy telling you to take drugs. But it's kind of like, if
It
you-
is becoming more prominent though.
as we get older, it's just to get you back to the level playing field.
Well, like doctors will say like, oh yeah, these are normal for your age, and people are like, I don't want to be normal for my age. I want to feel good again.
I was
you
surprised
know?
how many men are in there.
Oh my God, yes.
Like, so you just
yes.
thought, I just thought that, oh, this is just a woman thing, and when I'm in the waiting room and you're waiting, and there's at least 2 men in there too, because they have the same situation, so, or a little bit different, but
Sure, yeah.
he's treating those as
Either
well.
way, it's hormone replacement
Yeah,
therapy, and
yeah.
again, the quality of life, just getting sleep and having recovery is going to even help you perform better, right? So
Exactly.
there's a whole world of wellness here. So we're going to dive into the myths and misconceptions, because, and if there's stuff that we don't talk about, please bring it up, because I would love to clarify anything that I can here for you today. So these are the most popular ones that people would talk about. Let's start with the anabolic window. If you don't know what the anabolic window is, Randy, I like how you say this. You're just better at
So,
phrasing this.
we probably at one point or another all heard that, if we don't have that protein shake after a workout, by the time we hit the car, might as well have not worked out, doesn't matter anymore.
He's like, I know the anabolic window.
So the anabolic window is real, but it's closer to like 3 to 4 hours, and all that means is your body's just primed to take in some nutrients that time to help with recovery. So yes, you should eat relatively soon after a workout, but go home, shower first if you need to. No big deal.
But where it does help to eat sooner than later, if you're somebody like me, I won't be hungry right after a workout. I'm like, I'm good. But if I wait just a little too long, I go from being I'm good to ravenous, right? And I'm like, now I'm overeating to compensate for me feeling starving, right? So I'm better off getting something in my stomach relatively soon, even if it's a small snack like Greek yogurt and peaches, one of my favorite go-tos, right? To hold me over until I can get to a substantial meal. And that way when the meal comes, I go, I can eat.
See,
Not
I
like,
was- I always thought dairy was not good.
you can have it as if you're not lactose intolerant, you don't have issues, you can absolutely have dairy, it's fine. But if it makes you shit your brains out, you might not want it. I talk about poop just as much as I talk about food at Rev. It's all connected,
We're talking
right?
about, is it the serving size or is it the food?
So, the serving size of the food. So it's actually, I'm glad that you mentioned this. So is it the serving size or is it the food, right? So a couple of stories, like somebody was like, I can't eat ice cream. I go, okay, well, did you have a serving size of ice cream or did you sit and eat the whole pint? And they're like, well, I ate the whole pint. I'm like, probably not a good idea. The guy who ate the sushi, he went
Wait,
out.
the pint isn't the serving size?
Exactly. Not for everybody's stomach. Not everybody can handle that, right? And you have like a serving of Ben and Jerry's. You're like, this is pathetic. Right?
Scoop in.
Yeah.
But I only ate the dish.
Or like you have the half a cup serving, but while you're doing the half cup serving, you're having a bite out of the pint, right? So now you're at a full cup.
That was certainly not
Is that not
track.
how you're supposed to do it?
Not track. That's your bites, licks, and taste, right? There was one guy, we were talking to him, he goes, I think I'm intolerant to rice. And I was like, all right, talk to me about this. I want to hear more about this. He's like, maybe there's gluten in it. He was going on a whole thing. I go, okay. When did you eat the rice? He goes, well, I went out for sushi. I go, okay, cool. How many rolls did you have? He's like, 8. And I was like, dude, it's not the rice. You have 8 rolls sitting in your stomach. And if you don't know, if you have a sushi roll, take this with a grain of salt. It's approximately, and it's kind of an illusion, 1 cup of rice to each sushi roll. So this guy's had 8 cups of rice sitting in his stomach along with fried tempura. I'm like, dude, it's not the rice, man. So again, did you have a slice of pizza or did you sit and eat the whole pie, right? So sometimes it's not the food, it's the quantity. So we're gonna go into the meal timing. Meal timing, if you're eating your allotted calories or macronutrients in a day, no matter when you eat it, you're gonna get the same fat loss results, which is pretty cool. Where you run into issues in meal timing is if you perform in the gym, right?
Especially multiple sessions or intense sessions.
Multiple sessions, if you're an athlete,
Bless
bless
you.
you. And also staying satiated, bless you, right? So if you wanna do 3 larger meals, or your lifestyle and your needs call for 6 smaller meals, as long as you're hitting your macros by the end of the day, you're good.
Yeah, and that's one of those areas I see people trip themselves up on with the whole, perfect is the enemy of good a lot of times. Whatever you can do the best consistently, that's what's good for you. Like I've had, a client, she's a surgeon, she's one of my pro bodybuilders. She just is not getting in 6 square meals a day.
She'll be in surgery for 10 hours
not
at
happening.
a shot, right?
Or we work with some of these, shift workers or nurse, police. Some days they're there for 12 hours, some days for 8, some days 16. The meals are gonna be varied. So if you get caught up in, well, I didn't have my 5 meals today, split exactly 2.5 hours apart, relax. Get them in as you feel best. If you have an extreme, and I say extreme performance goal, but extreme performance goal, let's say you have a powerlifting meet coming up. Okay, well then it is a little more important that we need to get those carbs pre and post workout, get those in there. And then you might have to make a little more sacrifice. We did a video of this a while back, extreme sacrifice or extreme results. The more extreme the goal you have, the more sacrifice you have to give. But I like to tell people, to be in shape, to look really good, you do not have to get extreme. I'm talking about being a bodybuilder, being a pro fighter, the rest of us can get by really good on 85%.
Yeah, so I'm glad that you actually touched on that, that's really good. Yeah, absolutely. And then meal timing is also gonna matter for just staying satiated throughout the day. So keeping your blood sugars even keel, right? I like more frequent meals because if too much time goes by, I get like lethargic, I get a little hangry, right? And
some people go the other way too, where they stay not hungry, now you're under eating again.
yeah, like we've seen all sorts of things. So we gotta figure out what's gonna work best for you. Like we were talking about, everything gets tweaked for you guys, right? We need to see psychologically, emotionally, how are you feeling throughout the
We have
week and what
some
can we change?
that have to just save some comfort carbs for night because they know they're going to want something when they watch TV. So
I went to, so my community has a, I'm definitely get to it. My community had a big party last night and I left the party, I didn't get anything, I just got a platter of cookies. And I walked out, they're like, you're a nutritionist, you're a bodybuilder, you just walk out with a platter of cookies. I'm like, balance. I'm like, you didn't see the vegetables, chicken and egg whites I ate the rest of the day. I'm saving my carbs for these freaking cookies.
Well, that's how every affair we ever go to. We won't eat much at the cocktail hour, we'll just eat the protein at dinner, but come to dessert,
Dessert.
she is got 10
That's my
plates.
vice,
But
right?
she'll also just eat the tops of them.
Yeah, that's the only part that matters. I'm like a sponge cake bar.
So it looks like she's having a lot of food, but she picks her spots.
Yeah, it's all about picking your spots. Like I said, Tetris with food, that's what it is. Go for it.
My question, like kind of going with mealtime, and I think like what we see a lot of our clients struggle with is like not eating breakfast, right? So like meal timing, should you be getting in 3 meals a day? Does it matter if you're not eating breakfast first thing in the morning?
This is one of the #1 questions we get is breakfast,
Yes.
and if you're working out in the morning.
So I'll answer 2 ways. The short, correct textbook answer is yes, you definitely should be eating breakfast, you definitely should be eating before you work out. Second answer, some people just don't. And some people won't.
Some people feel sick,
Some people feel
like
sick.
I get that
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, and if you've been doing it and you feel fine and you eat after, then so be it. Let's not rock the cart too much. But if you do find that you're still not eating because you're just an upset stomach, but you think your performance is hindered, you can try having a little bit of a bigger carb serving at night of slowly digesting carbs. It won't be as good, but it can help a little bit.
Yeah, like I had to have something in my
Yeah.
stomach before I go,
Whether it's a
otherwise
banana, a
I
yogurt,
want to die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what I would advise. Someone doesn't want to eat, at least have a banana, something little. Even a little apple juice knocked back. It's not perfect, it's not great, but it's something.
Yeah, definitely.
The composition of breakfast, should it be more carb heavy since it's the first meal of the day, or should it be balanced?
If it's back to back with your workout or just in general?
Just in general.
Just in general, I always recommend to have kind of like an even displaced macro plate. So like I'll do egg whites, so I'm getting my protein from the egg whites with some toast, I'm getting my carbs from the toast, and a little bit of cheese, I'm getting my fats from the cheese, right? So I'm kind of hitting everything first thing in the morning and I feel fantastic.
Yeah, that kind of leads into something we're going to enjoy. Carbs at night, most people should I eat carbs at night? So we're kind of leading into that same sort of thing. When you have the carbs in terms of fat loss and stuff, as long as it's in a 24-hour window, all good. Things that it will affect the next day, that scale, maybe a little bloated in the morning, holding some more water. But in terms of anything fat loss wise, nah.
Yeah.
But
I'm
generally,
lazy and I have to be online pretty early in the morning, so I'll usually grab cereal, but it's a high protein cereal.
What kind of cereal do you use?
Special K protein.
The Special K protein. You know what some people do with their cereal? I don't know if it's something you're interested in, but to bring the protein up a little bit, because the protein is very slow digesting, they'll throw a little bit of like vanilla protein powder in their cereal milk, and they mix that
and
in,
very
and
little, like a quarter
of a scoop even, and it just hits the spot just a little bit more. Yeah, and it
Like
just,
the collagen type stuff? Or?
not even the collagen. Like I'll just use I have the Apollo Nutrition 50/50 whey casein blend, and I just throw a little bit of that in the cereal milk, and it flavors the milk.
also
so it
really
makes
good in
it
cottage cheese.
Great in cottage cheese. It makes like cheesecake with Greek yogurt.
Yeah, it's really good.
But yeah, throw even like a half a scoop in that, and you'll notice you're gonna feel a little bit fuller just because that protein's gonna be nice and slow digesting inside. It's just a more well-rounded meal for you too. Yeah, you get a bag, and you asked a question too, so wait, you get one too. Hey-o, hey-o. So,
And then you had a question.
who? Yes, go for it.
Yeah, real quick on meal timing.
Yes.
More so talking about protein, right? So I think a lot of people have probably heard like you can only absorb 25 grams of protein per meal, right?
Yes, love
I've
this.
also seen a study that's dependent on body weight. Can you kind of clear that up a little bit? Because when I eat my meals, I like to have a little bit like bigger meals, like you talked about volume. So
Yeah.
I'm probably taking up like 50 or 60 grams of protein.
You're good doing
Is
that.
Okay.
Yeah,
100%.
Like how much do you weigh, ballpark?
211, 212.
Yeah, so
Nice.
for a guy your size, are you going to absorb like 60 grams? Probably not,
Yeah.
but you're probably not absorbing 25 either. You're probably actually using for the anabolism something like 40 and 50, I think. So exactly what you said, it's very size and gender based. But I also like to having a little extra, especially if someone like you're a little bigger. Since we don't absorb everything 100%, fills in the cracks.
Yeah.
That's always my theory with
For
that.
anabolism, you're always gonna
Anabolism.
absorb energy.
So it's a very
before
different
it,
answer than I'd give someone,
Yeah.
but it's because I assume you're trying to gain muscle.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you're better off
Having a little more.
just kind of overloading it just to be safe. Than
Yeah.
getting that
Yeah, that
protein
50
over.
grams is
All that's
solid.
going to happen is either it's going to come out of one of the other ends, nothing bad.
1 tube. Did you get a bag yet?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay, good.
You're very excited about the bags.
I'm so excited. I didn't even get to the shaker bottles yet. You talked about the carbs at night. Again, like he was saying before, it might affect your weight on the scale the next day because of just water absorption into the carbohydrate and food still in your digestive tract. In addition, we expel weight from water via urine, breath, heat, right? There's so many ways that we expend it. So if you're weighing yourself at 7 a.m. versus 9 a.m. on an empty stomach, you're gonna be lighter at 9 a.m. just from simply heat thermogens. Supplements.
All right, so,
This is an umbrella.
yeah, most of them are wasting money.
Yeah, there's good supplements.
There are some good stuff, but
Yeah.
usually the bigger the claim, the less likely to work. So I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this unless you have specific questions, but, you know, creatine, safe,
Great.
studied, works wonderful, also not magic, but it's a great supplement, probably the most studied supplement out there. No reason not to use it. Fat burners, these I would stay away from. You know, go back 20 years, pre-Balco days, you can get some good stuff at GNC that works, also might give you a heart attack.
It's also illegal now.
But it works. Now, at best, it'll give you a little bit of jitters, and they're basically caffeine pills. Some may help with like appetite suppressant, but it's a very expensive appetite suppressant. I would mostly stay away from fat burners unless you really like the energy and satiety.
And make sure you don't have like a heart issue. before
Yeah,
taking
usually
them.
I have a hard time talking about those protein powders. I really don't consider those supplements. I consider just like powdered food, but it's literally a dietary supplement. So good, but you know, make sure you're getting what you think you're getting. Make sure your protein doesn't have 50 grams of carbs in it and it's actually accidentally a weight gainer. or a mass
Yeah,
gainer.
like, so there's protein shakes out there that are more mass gainers
Or
and
meal
there's more
replacements.
meal replacements. So you think you're getting a protein shake that's like 25 grams of protein and
5, 7.
1 fat and like 5 carb, but you're really getting a meal replacement shake that has also 25
And not that
carbs.
the other
in
ones are
it.
bad, but they're bad if you think they're just a protein shake that you just knock back.
Yeah, exactly. So just make sure you learn how to read nutrition labels.
Yeah, any of the, like I know we touched on hormone replacement earlier, any of the hormone replacement stuff that you get outside of a doctor, and I'm not talking even about the guy in the back of the gym, I'm talking about just, you know, GNC, let's say.
The shady guy in the locker room.
At best, it'll just make your wallet lighter. At worst, it could do something. You know, every day they come out with a new study. Is this one boost test? Is this maybe it doesn't, maybe it does not. Check them out. If you really think you have an issue, talk to your primary doctor.
Talk to a doctor.
That's where I'd point you to. First off, a lot of times, also even if you're getting the whatever the supplement of the month is, you're probably not even getting enough of the active ingredient anyway. Any big ones I missed? Oh, pre-workouts.
You want to kick in the ass? Pre-workout's great.
Their muscle building effects are greatly exaggerated. If you like the pump you get from it with those
Love the pump.
vasodilators, great, cool. You know, they're set to make it more anabolic environment also, but don't be paying $100 for pre-workout just because
It has a shiny label on it.
Yeah.
We had somebody, what was it creatine she bought?
$99.
99. Creatine's $10.
For like 3 weeks worth.
It's cheap, and it was like 3 weeks.
And this is
3
going
weeks.
back 10 years.
$99 because it had a fancy label on it. I was like, what did you do? Don't do that. So just and if there's ever a supplement out there that you're curious about, send it over to us. We'd be happy to check the label out for you and let you know our feedback. Yeah.
Something we were talking about today in our team meeting was just about like quality of food.
Mhm.
So you guys are talking a lot about macronutrients, but also like micronutrients are
Yes.
concerned. So even people that have like the cleanest diet,
Mm-hmm.
like the quality of food today compared to the 70s or
Oh,
the
gosh.
60s, like because of soil depletion and all of those things. So from a supplementation standpoint, like multivitamins.
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
a multivitamin. I always recommend that for anything that you're possibly missing.
And you
Get your
definitely are
blood
missing.
and get your blood works checked to see what you are deficient
Yeah.
in, because you can supplement that.
We do find a lot of people, we hear a lot of people are vitamin D deficient as well, can always be a good one to supplement.
Mm-hmm.
And that same thing, like some people like to put fish oils in and that sort of stuff. I'm hit or miss on fish oils that actually do the effects they say they have, but some people anecdotally like them. But like he just said, I would definitely do the multi.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone probably needs
I
that.
like vitamin C for like just extra support, and I do love taking my ZMA at night, zinc magnesium aspartate. It just helps me get a better, deeper sleep. It doesn't put you to sleep, it just kind of keeps you in deeper sleep, which aids in recovery. I wake up the next day being able to perform better than expected. So I love the ZMA supplement.
Yeah, and a lot of times too, the best supplements you get is having a good varied diet of whole foods, like TJ was saying. Even though they're not what they should be, you're still gonna be better off having a chicken breast and vegetables than you are at McDonald's.
Yeah, because even though we do flexible nutrition, I'm not going to sit here and say anything's off limits. It's just we teach you how to enjoy all foods that you like, just in the right amounts. You know what I mean? So
Right.
quality of food, yes, I want you to have
It's
a
just
good,
the-
nutritious meal, but every once in a while, you're going to want to have the cookie, and we can make it work.
That's where the 80-20 rule definitely comes in play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. That's all the big stuff.
So the other thing would be like vitamins that like compete for the same receptor.
Yeah.
Like timing of supplementation.
Depends on the supplements, and I talk to people about that, like if they should be taking it in the morning, in the night, with a meal, stuff like that. So that's kind of like to each supplement, I kind of break it down for them and figure that out from there. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that's more actually more yours.
Yeah, I don't have anything like off the top of my head for that right now, but we break that down just so it's the best absorption and things like that. Some people just have absorption issues too, so we have to make sure that's all good and well too.
And actually, that's also, make sure you're getting your water in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So speaking about absorption.
Yeah.
What's your take on leaky gut?
Leaky gut. What's your take?
I
on
don't want
leaky
to say my take because I've heard too much from too many people I don't respect about it.
It's true. This
But-
industry is
But I
crazy.
have heard just not enough, but I know there's something behind it.
There's some truth, but
Uh-huh.
there's a lot
There's
of
something,
BS around it.
yeah, there's something there.
People like to amp it up to like make a business around it, right? And I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
that's pretty exaggerated,
I
but
think
like I
there's-
get it.
Yeah, I think a lot of really cool promising stuff with the microbiome and all that stuff there.
You do want to have a healthy
But I'd be
gut,
lying
yeah.
if I'd say I have any good take on it, to be honest.
Yeah.
What is leaky gut?
And I definitely want to get back to you like on more information on that also.
I never heard that before.
Leaky gut, you hear people talking about like microbiome imbalances in their stomach and all of these things, like they're not able to digest and process food the way that they should. There's so many different takes on it.
Yeah, and a lot of times you hear about it I don't like talking poorly about it, but you hear from someone who wants to sell you about $1,000 worth of pills to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when usually, like, a good question, what is leaky gut? And the answer is usually, I whirl around and tell you it's this, it's that.
Yeah, it's a very vague.
It's a vague term, but I know
description. You know.
I think
Yeah.
it's just become like a buzzword at this point, right? Yeah.
Adrenal fatigue.
Yeah, adrenal fatigue. Thank you.
Well, we heard metabolic syndrome for a while.
And listen, there is truth behind these things, but people just kind of take it and run with it. And you're like, wait, that doesn't even mean what I thought it meant originally, right? So, so there's like a whole run around with that. And again, this industry is a little wild. I hate this industry so much. Go for it. Let's see. I think
That was all the big ones.
that was all the big ones. Yeah. So.
And that kind of leads into false marketing, yeah.
Yeah, and just so the false marketing, buzzwords, things like that, right? They're always going to be putting things out there. The keto diet, this is healthy,
Usually
paleo,
if it sounds too good to be true, or so
leaky gut,
or so
right?
scary and vague, I don't know what it is.
This is a
You can usually ignore those
fear-mongering
two things.
industry. They prey on insecurities, right? So then we come in and we're just like, just relax, guys. Everything's gonna be fine. Right?
Yeah, it's just like in fitness. 90% of the times, the boring stuff is going to get you right where you need to go.
Yeah.
Problem is, the boring stuff's boring. You need to do it consistently.
And this is something that's happening now, just so you know, a lot of health food marketed stuff, like they throw like a green label on it and a barn and they're like, this shit's healthy.
The high protein Snickers, it goes 5
High-
grams of protein.
High protein Snickers, 5 grams of protein along with 86 grams of sugar. I was like, wow, I really almost fell for it.
Oh, yeah, it's just like a regular Snickers, but it's high protein.
Yeah, trail mix. Back when I used to work at Central State, I had this big bulk bag of trail mix and I'd be eating it like a trough. And the next thing you know, I'd be in the back room. And I'm like, did I just eat 10 servings of trail
But
mix?
it's okay because Vogue said it's good.
But both said it's healthy, and I'm like, oh god. So like too much of anything is too much, right? Paleo, healthy, learn how to read nutrition labels, learn how to read the ingredients, because it's very eye-opening. What I was gonna say is a lot of the health food industry foods now are getting sued because their macros and nutrition facts are incorrect, and they're like over-promising and absolutely messing up. So I would buy a product and be like, wow, this is only 15 grams of carbs and 20 grams of protein, right? And then like 6 months later, there's actually 60 grams of carbs in it and like 4 grams of protein. They're getting
And then they
busted
killed
and
10 people.
and killed 10 people. They're getting busted and they're getting sued. So all of a sudden I'll have 2 of the same exact product, one that I bought 3 months ago and one that I bought now, and there's 2 completely different labels on it. Which one's the truth, right? And it's really messing with people's
Quest was probably the
progress.
biggest offender of that years back.
Quest got hard sued.
Like one of the gel companies for like running.
Yes.
All right.
This guy like DNF'd during a race, like did not finish one of the races because
Yes.
he planned his whole nutrition strategy on these gels,
Uh-huh.
but there weren't as many calories in it as
Oh.
he expected.
Yep.
So we didn't have the energy to finish the
Literally.
race. And then this third party came in and started testing
Yep.
the food, and it was like completely
They get
off.
slaughtered.
And it's a good business plan. What they do is they just hope to make enough money fast enough to get bought out, and it's not their problem.
Yeah.
That's
They
the
get
question.
that.
He made a ton of money, that guy, and it was
Yep.
the next guy's problem.
Exactly. Yeah. So and we see a lot of this in this industry. Go for it, Liz.
Kind of going back to like, you know, away from, or not really even away from the false marketing. I think something that our clients will deal with a lot as well is like not understanding cravings.
Yes.
And what cravings are or why they're having them. And
Mhm.
something that I've learned, which I don't know if it's just something that I'm learning out there or if it's true, is like, are your cravings sometimes telling you what you need?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love if we can dive into that.
We can dive into that. So two things. Yes, sometimes it is telling you what you need. Like some people all of a sudden, especially women through their cycles, they're like, I'm craving red meat. Listen to it. And all of a sudden they eat it and they're like, I feel amazing, right? Your body is craving something there. But there's emotional cravings as well, boredom cravings, right? So you need to have a really good self-awareness to know.
This is when journaling gets really good.
Journaling is important here. Is okay, am I craving this because this is legitimately like something my body needs, or am I just bored? Am I stressed? Am I using this as a coping mechanism, right? So again, I was talking about how closely related psychology is. Like food is associated with everything we do. Stress, celebration, grief, everything's revolved around food when you think about it. So why we do what we do or don't do what we do, the behaviors we have to kind of break that down and see why we are doing the things that we're doing in the first place. So when you go into that, I would say the best advice is to have like start work on that like self-awareness, especially women. Where are you in your cycle? Are you noticing a pattern that you're hitting these cravings the same time of the month? In addition, are you bored? Are you stressed? Is this a coping mechanism? We've done whole seminars on that
Or you
actually.
find, 2 hours after a really hard workout, I'm always craving X.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, journal it and see if there's a pattern because there might be something to it and most people don't follow the pattern, right? So I think that's actually a really good topic. I wonder if I have it recorded or written. I gotta send it to you if I can find it. It's like a whole seminar on it. Yeah.
Just one more.
Mhm.
This goes into meal timing and carbs at night.
Yep.
So, something I've been having a tough time with recently is my work schedule. Sometimes I'm getting back at home late at night. I'm not eating dinner until like 8:30. I usually go to bed at 9:30
Okay.
because I have to be up at 4:30.
Big day.
Now, I've noticed it starting to affect my sleep a little bit. Like I'm not getting great sleep. I wake up groggy or I'm not going to sleep at all.
Okay.
It takes me a while. Would you say in a situation like that, people who come back home and eat late at night, do they sacrifice a little bit of that food intake? Or do they kind of just suck it up and, take the hit on recovery in terms of sleep for that night?
It's hard to say.
That's
person to person.
very individualized.
If you find that it's affecting your sleep, I'd probably vote with get the food earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
Yeah.
just meal prep.
Meal prep.
Stop being lazy.
Yes, meal prep, dude. Preparation
Or,
is key,
or,
man.
or maybe there's a different food type you can have,
Are you going to bed with like a really full stomach?
No, not really. It's just if I eat probably
Keeps you right
an
up.
hour before, it keeps me up for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you're better off going with having a meal earlier and then going with like a before bed snack. Like I'm just using
Just
this
shake,
example,
yeah.
like a shake or like a little Greek yogurt bowl with some diced peaches or something like that. Maybe just something to hit the spot. Again, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, egg whites, something high in protein is gonna be slow digesting and helping you recover through the night. That's usually, or protein shake is a good go-to.
Okay.
But maybe you're better off doing the meal earlier and the little small snack before
Right,
bed.
if
Got
you
it.
want to get really boring, like casein shake.
Yeah, casein's a great option for digesting while you sleep. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Other questions? Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so this is more kind of personal.
Yeah.
So I know women in particular have a slow metabolism and short women. I'm 4'11".
4'11".
So how should I change my nutritional needs in terms of protein or just in general? Is there anything in terms of fat loss and muscle gain?
Yeah, so like, again, we were talking about like BMR before, so your BMR would be totally different from TJ's, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we gotta figure out, okay, where is that, what are your energy needs and so forth, and take it from there, and also see, do you feel satisfied on this, right? Because according to that, it would be lower than most people, but some people with 411, they still have pretty speedy recoveries, so we kind of have metabolism, so we kind of have to figure that out.
Yeah, usually I tend to, when it comes to people on the smaller end of the scale, I tend to actually overestimate your protein a little bit. So, because sometimes I go by your BMR, I might be like, she only eats 1,200 calories. I'm like, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Or even more than that.
Yeah.
So you find a way to get a little more than that in, and usually I find protein's a good way to sneak it in, just because it has a lot of other functions. People tend to tolerate it pretty well. So that's the first thing. Anyway, knowing nothing else about you, I would say make sure you're getting your protein in.
Yeah,
At least
definitely.
for someone, again, not advice I'd give to a larger person, at least your body weight probably, and then see how you do from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something like the coaches have been talking about a lot recently is like using protein as a way to crowd out,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
crowd out some of the bad food. So
Yeah.
like from a psychological standpoint, like instead of saying what can't I have,
What can I?
if you go to like what can I have and
Uh-huh.
you start to like increase your protein intake, it will start to crowd out some of the other like
It does.
bad stuff, right?
Yeah, and you feel
And
more
it-
satisfied, so you end up not
Yeah, it
craving
can be
the
a
other
good habit to
things.
get into too, to have your protein on the plate first, then finish your sides.
Yeah, like I was at a wedding the other day, everybody was eating their sides first. By the time they got to their protein, they were all stuffed, and I was like, that's a beautiful filet mignon you just wasted, right?
And you probably took it.
But then so I did my filet first, and by the time I got to my sides, I was like, I'm good. So here you had me who just had a huge boost of protein and relatively no carbs, because I didn't even make it, and you had everybody else who has high fat, high carb from the sides and the cocktail hour and no protein. I'm sitting there stuffed, and they're just like, they skipped over the protein and went right to the
Some
cake.
more carbs.
Yeah, some more carbs, because they started craving more sugar and whatnot, right? So yeah.
There's like a thermogenic effect.
There
with
is the
protein, so it
thermogenic
costs
effect.
energy to break down the protein
Yes.
more than.
So the thermogenic effect of food, right? So the amount of energy it takes to break this down, it's a lot more energy, calories, right? To break down your proteins than it is carbohydrates.
Yeah,
So
protein's got a lot of advantages.
you ever get the meat sweats? You know, the meat sweats.
Rodizio.
Does anybody here have the meat sweats? Go to Rodizio and let me know how you feel after a Brazilian steakhouse. You're gonna leave there just swollen and just like, right? It's a lot of protein. It's a very high thermogenic effect in the body. It's, if you never experienced it before, you probably should once in your life.
all your rings pop off your hands.
I remember gripping the steering wheel and I was like, I can't bend my fingers and I'm sweating. The meat sweats is a riot.
All right, Ron Burgundy.
Oh my god, it's good times. Yes, go for it.
Carbs at night.
Yes.
Finding that I'm getting up in the middle of the night this year,
Okay.
and I'm hungry.
Yep.
So I'll just grab like almost a
Thanks
glass
for
of-
coming.
almost
Oh, of course.
Almost a glass of milk, might even chase a little dry cereal with it, just a few bites.
Yeah, honestly, like any protein source in the middle of the night would be ideal. So like again, if that milk had like, if you just did like protein powder with water, just make a little protein shake. I always have Greek yogurt and cottage cheese are like my go-tos. I have like 2 tablespoons of that and I'm like, ugh, I'm done. Yeah, and I just go back to bed. Like it doesn't have me wanting more, it just hits the spot and I'm like, all right. So I would definitely gravitate towards some sort of protein source in the middle of the night, ideally, because again, you're recovering while you sleep. Your body's gonna enjoy that protein for sure. Yeah. Other questions? Yeah.
All right, seed oils.
Yeah.
So.
Everyone's going crazy with these seed
Yeah,
oils.
right. I don't know. I kind of just avoid them because I prefer olive oil and avocado
Yeah.
oil. Would you say that they are actually a bad thing, or is it just that foods that have seed oils in them are usually more processed and higher in sugar and calories?
So it's a lot of that. So you have those like hyper palatable foods, right? So when they make those highly processed foods, they are manufactured to make you want to eat more. So it's not, I'm not gonna just isolate the seed oils in that. It's everything they're putting into these products for you to be like, this tastes so good, I wanna eat more, right? So again, I don't wanna like just bash on seed oils. It's just everything that they're throwing into these products that make you not only have a serving, but then have a second serving and a third, and it just exceeds your calories for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just basically doing things that are gonna bring you out of your caloric deficit or maintenance or whatever your needs are.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff they're hyping up negative about it tends to be just more negative hype. Like the specific things that like, oh, it does X, I forget.
Again, it's all fear mongering. In 5 years, I'm gonna be like, seed oils are great, and it's just gonna be the cycle, because that's exactly what this industry
Right,
does.
it's
You know,
mostly what Michele said.
yeah,
This-
and then they're gonna say, don't have it, it's gonna kill you. Like it's just this is what they do. But yeah, those hyper palatable foods that are using those oils in it, they're also using a lot of other products in it for you to be like, I want more, right? So yeah, go for it.
Do you do anything with, nutrition for anxiety type disorders?
Nutrition for whoa, we know a lot about anxiety
But not
disorders,
nutrition
but
for it.
not nutrition for it. The one thing I will say, like with anxiety disorders, like obviously, like talk to if you have a doctor, or therapist, or whatever, make sure you're getting all the support you need to help you through the anxiety, because we do a lot of mental health work in our company. But something that does help is yes, when you eat better, you perform better, you recover better, you sleep better, which can aid in monitoring your anxiety or managing your anxiety. Sometimes these things just kind of snowball into the next thing, right? If I don't get a good night's sleep, I might wake up a little bit anxious, like, oh my God, I have all these responsibilities to do today, and you start getting anxious, right? Maybe because I just had a crappy meal the night before, right? So again, I'll think most of the time when you're nourishing your body correctly and you're feeling good about yourself and you feel confident and you're like, whoa, I just had a great day, I have this sense of accomplishment, it transcends into feeling overall better about everything, right?
Yeah, my son has anxiety issues.
Mhm.
He's been pretty much on his own trying to deal with it.
Yep.
And he's read a couple of books. He changed his diet completely. He
Yeah?
more or less eliminated like meat type proteins. He
Okay.
eats a lot of tofu now. He'll eat eggs for breakfast, but he eats a lot of tofu.
Mm-hmm.
He makes lots and lots of beans.
I love that,
and
that's great.
legumes, different types of spices that they have in the books and things like that. He thinks it
Nice.
helps him, but I
That's
don't know if it's necessarily
wonderful.
the right
That's,
direction long term.
if it makes you feel better, go for it. Like that's always like whatever makes you feel better, go for it. Also just making sure, like sometimes having caffeine in your diet, certain things can exacerbate the anxiety, so eliminating that can help as well. And so
So just,
yeah.
I've been like reading a lot about this stuff.
Yeah.
There's research coming out of Rutgers about it with regard to like antibiotics and basically like gut health. And what they're talking about is like your neurotransmitters, a lot of them are made in your gut. So if you can optimize your gut health, all those microbiome that you were talking about, and basically they're saying that if you take antibiotics within a year, you're more likely to experience major depressive disorder. So basically you're killing off that microbiome, and it's gonna affect like your mood, how your brain functions. So certainly if you're optimizing like your gut health,
Yeah.
like it's,
Definitely, yeah. Like we see people who have anxiety disorder, but they're destroying their bodies. They're eating fast food every day. They're drinking soda. Like they're not helping themselves at all. So between the gut health and the psychological effects of just your own confidence, right? There's so many different factors that come into it. If you can get it all aligned properly, it's that nice positive snowball effect that you want. Yeah, I'm just glad that he's making these strides.
Yeah,
That's
he's
wonderful.
really trying hard, yeah.
That's really wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. That's nice. I like that. Yes.
Another controversial
Oh, yay!
grass-fed beef.
It's great as long as the label's accurate and they're telling you the truth. It's
Yeah,
just,
'cause I know there's the 03-06 ratio is better than grain-fed.
Oh, you're not gonna know. Yeah, I'm not even.
I'm not as familiar with
I'm not
that.
as familiar with
the
the.
omega-3 versus omega-6.
Oh, the omega. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry, that went right over my
I was
head.
lazy and said
No, it's fine. But yeah, like it's important. It is good. You do want to have good quality beef product, 100%. Like I was just in Canada last week. You take a bite into their beef and it's amazing, and then you have a bite of beef and you're like, what did I just put in my mouth? Right? So it does matter. You want to have high quality beef, just as long as they're telling you the truth on the label. So.
Yeah, usually I find, like when it comes to chicken, I'm like, I can only eat the Bell and Evans chicken, I can't eat the
I
Purdue and the other stuff.
can't eat other
It just
chicken.
roasts me, I get grizzle pieces. So even forget the health benefits, sometimes those grass-fed, or they just kind of taste better too.
Yeah.
It just feels.
It feels like
healthier.
It feels
It does.
healthy, yeah.
It's like, this is real chicken. Oh my god, this is great. So yeah, no, there's a lot to that, and I would say to go for the best quality meats that you can find. I would, especially in this
and
country.
Like TJ was saying earlier, it's, the more whole foods we can use to get the vitamins we need,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a better option.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, no, that was a good question. Yeah.
So it's getting a little late.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
I was gonna say, like, if you can give us like major like nutrition is very habit driven.
Mhm.
Like it's a lot of like what to eat.
Yeah.
But like, what are some habits around food that people can kind of take away today to say like, these are the steps that I need to take.
Yeah.
So I guess if I can get to do my alcohol spiel, but don't come here. So if there's
Oh, we have a whole
so
spiel
if
on
there's just,
alcohol.
before you can get to food, 2 things you can do if you want to, look better, feel better, perform better. Drink more water, drink less alcohol. So I mean, no alcohol, I don't know what
number
that means
one.
for you, but less alcohol will always be better for your body, so you always perform better.
Yeah.
Optimize protein. Try to have a little bit of protein each meal. I like to say it means
25 grams.
15 to 25 every meal. Make that a point, and you're gonna block out the other foods. You're gonna get the lean mass built up. Try to have your carbs from more vegetables, whole sources. Less from liquids.
Highly palatable foods we were talking about.
Be more cognizant of those BLTs.
Bites,
I'll let you go to that part, yeah.
sips. Yep, we were
Yeah.
talking about that before. So having that self-audit and being self-aware, like, did I track my calories today, or did I not track the extra 600 calories of just kind of grazing, right? So being very, very honest with yourself would be big behavioral things
Yeah,
to keep in
and
mind.
if you can, try making your at least 2 or 3 meals, really cooking them either as you do it or ahead of time, prepping your meals and
Meal
having
prep.
them available will keep you on track too. Even if you're not, you don't have a calorie goal or anything, you're just like, I feel like I'm having chicken and broccoli this week. If you have the chicken and broccoli made, you're way more likely to eat the chicken and broccoli than if you have to go cook it each time.
Yeah, so and if meal prep is tough for you, like I do work with Eat Clean Bro. I get a lot of meals from them. I think some of their meals are a little too salty for me as much as I love them. So I'll go to their bulk menu items and just get like a pound of chicken, a pound of fresh steamed broccoli, a pound of this. So it's super, super easy, and I'm keeping my sodium lower. Again, nothing wrong with sodium, but you need to have the correct amount for your body. And I was having too much for a little while there, to be honest. I was feeling it. Yeah.
So if you had to prioritize those and say, like, this
Prioritize?
is the first one that I'm gonna start tomorrow.
Water,
Water,
protein, alcohol, good sources of carbs, and prep the meals.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I might even put alcohol 1 and 2
Yeah,
in
he,
one.
I know, everybody hates that one. Go for it.
Recommendations on or about protein shakes and bars?
So I work with Pollen Nutrition. They're a local company in Edison. I love all of their products. Love all their supplements, their protein powders. My favorite. We sell them at Rev, and I do have like a discount code if you ever wanted to order from them to save some money. Protein bars, Built Puff.
You like the Built Puffs are good.
The
too.
Built Puffs are banging. The Built Puff chunks. I guess Quest bars are
Usually,
fine.
yeah, you want to look for one like Michelle said. It's going to be equal amount of protein and carbs in the bar.
Bear Bells.
Bear
Yeah,
Bells.
so you want to find a bar. If it's saying it's a protein bar and there's only 5 grams of protein in it, it's not a protein bar. You want to find a bar.
That's at least equivalent to protein carbs.
It could be like 18 plus grams of protein
Yeah,
and around the same of carbs.
and the fats should be
4 to 10,
yeah.
something like that. You're going to find is going to be a common one, I guess.
So some might be more of a snack, some might be a meal replacement.
Yeah.
I like the Quest bars.
Yeah, Quest are great.
They have a good distribution.
Now they're good. Quest are good
They're
now.
expensive.
Good quality bars are.
They don't taste good.
Like the better quality bars are going to be a little bit
Yeah.
more expensive, but the macros, if you like read it, it's a lot better
The
too.
protein powder is pretty good too. Quest.
Yeah, Quest has good protein powder too.
Premier shakes.
I love Premier shakes. The RTDs, like the ready to go shakes
Yeah.
or ready to drink shakes. Yeah, those are great.
Thorn
Yep.
Nutrition.
Which
you
one
guys
do you
have
have? What do you guys have?
Thorn.
Oh, okay. Yes, that. What you see in the back corner over there. I'm trusting TJ that it's fantastic. I've never read the label. I'm sure it's great.
I'm very nerdy.
I was about to say, like, if he's carrying it, I'm sure
If
it's
there's
fine.
anybody I trust, it's gonna be TJ. That's
Trust is
100%.
Trust that.
He probably
Yes.
grilled the chemist on it.
I
It's like-
have a problem.
And then also,
Research.
we have 3 cookbooks also. So like if you want to keep your meal preps interesting and fun, we have 3. I'm an author of 3 cookbooks.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. And they were very, very hard to work on, but they're amazing. The recipes are insanely good. We sell them at Rev, we sell them online as well. And then if you guys ever wanted or you were interested in Rev, we are located in Manalapan in the Meridian building. We do complimentary initial consultations and Fit3D scans. We are a very low pressure environment. We're not salespeople. So like if you come in and you want to get signed up, awesome. You want to go home and think about it, awesome. You don't want to do it, it's fine too. We want to work with people who want to work with us. That's our philosophy there. So we do that. Including your membership, you have one-on-one nutritional counseling with your nutritionist. You can reach out any day. You do not have to wait a whole week to meet with them. If you don't live locally, we do virtual. We work with people in Japan, Texas, Europe. Like we work with people all over the world. And we do your Fit3D scans every 2 weeks, weigh-ins in between. And like Randy was saying before, there's no phases. We need to listen and react to you and your body and make the changes accordingly along the way to get you to your goal. So that's what we do.
Thank you guys for spending some
And
time with us
yeah,
tonight.
thank you so much. We'll hang
It's
out
a
here
lot of
for a
fun.
little bit. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Great job.
And we'll be around soon.
Yeah, very, very good.
I wasn't as animated as I normally was.